just trying to sign in. Luckily, Gunnar sent me the link. I've got to hopefully sign in on that. So it's not popped up on my race. I'm now in it. It doesn't pop up on my events, which is quite funny. So it's not here. There's no, all of them. I've got no idea what. Oh, my microphone's too far away. It's alright, I got the link now. Gunnar sent it to me, luckily. But it's weird. It wasn't on my companion app and it wasn't in any of these. But anyway. Where is it? I thought I signed up. I did sign up. Let's just exit Zwift. I'm signed up, I swear. Alright, Gunnar, I'm restarting Zwift. Let's go. Let's go. I'm kind of hoping I don't get to race because I'm not racing this. I'm not going. I've done what I wanted to do. I've done my 3 weeks of racing. Nothing to be gained. Just do an FTP test. I ain't doing an FTP test. Alright, it's all done. There we go. Unfortunately, it's there. Unfortunately. Thank God, because I don't do an FTP test. No, Jesus Christ. It's quite funny, Noel. I got on the results. It picked up because of my super tucking on that race. It picked it up. But apparently, super tucking can trigger a flag on that race, so they looked at it and it was fine. So we still win. We're still the world champions. Well, number. What number are we? Kyle said what number we are in the world now. Where are we? Where are we? It's quite funny. So we're 15th in the world, 9th in the EME. We beat Sisu last time when we raced, or when I raced. And now Sisu are well above us. What is Sisu? Sisu was 6th in the world, or maybe they're 6th in EMEA. So it's very weird the way it works. Alright, make sure my trainers connect properly. Yeah, Gunnar, I think because they reset it all up. Thomas messaged me in Strava saying that they've reset it all up. So it's going to be very boring now. I'm almost, so there's only going to be 20 of us because no one knows where to find the bloody race. It's going to be 3 laps. I think it's 3 laps in neutral. So be prepared for very, very boring. Unusually boring even for my race now. I was actually thinking I should remind them that we shouldn't do 5 laps. We're chasing pink and chasing yellow. It was really boring the last stage. Instead of having the 3 laps of neutralised, just 1 lap neutralised, 2 sprints. Yeah, you're watching this because you just love really boring stuff, don't you know? How's your new bike? Have you picked it up yet? new, not so much a new bike. You got the same bike, don't you? You just got Di2 upgrade, I'm assuming. I think Jesse raced, yeah, Jesse did race early, Ben. I think the earlier one was, they changed it I think since that one. I'm not sure. I wasn't really keeping up, I was too busy trying to take over the world in the ladder races. Yelling at everyone. I'm only doing this race. If I could, I'd happily not do it. I'm only doing this race just to complete the 18 stages. It's just to get myself doing 18 stages in 20 days. I sacked off the GC's. Well, the GC's kind of fun, but it's kind of useless because I kind of got cranky at Jesse yesterday when he was having fun at me. But the thing is, it kind of annoys me in terms, the reason why it's annoying me is because Jesse was starting from like 2 races, but he's not even in my bloody race. That's why I was getting the shits. But I was probably being a bit too shitty, but that's the thing that annoys me. That's why I haven't bothered doing GC. I didn't bother doing the out. Is you got 3 different time zones. So the GC's just, that's rubbish. Just make a GC for each time slot. Oh, you need to get a 12-speed cassette for the trainer now. How, what about have you got your Kicker 5 on the way now? Alright, so what are we rolling out at? Something, does it say in the chat? Doesn't really say what we're rolling out at, it's just got a fence up. How much is a 12-speed cassette in 105 nowadays? I'm sticking with 10-speed. Alright, where's my... I think I missed it. Oh well, doesn't matter. Let's go! Whoa. At least it's not as hard as the start was in that ladder race. That was hilarious and also scary. For those not watching, Thomas is doing the B Cat GC. £90, Jesus. The worst thing about Zwift, no, is it you? Well, as I can see the fence. I'm wearing out. Not so bad because I'm racing a bit more now. Well, not racing a bit more, but instead of doing a lot of my erg rides, I've been using racing. But I'm wearing out the same tooth on my cassette. When I do erg, I've got to use more of the cassette rather than just keep a straight chain line. We can talk about it because this is going to be boring, Thomas. Basically, everyone knows, you especially. So we'll remove the A cap. Let's ignore the A cap. So locking people into D, C, B and, well not A, but B, has caused a lot of issues. Kind of need to reset. Possibly every Grand Tour, I don't know. It was a very big project. Well, I do use a small chain ring at the front. That's not the issue, it's the cassette. If I keep a straight chain line, then I'm using 2 cogs on the back then. I can use the big chain ring to then use a different cog on the back, but then it's a lot louder. when I'm doing erg mode, I like to have a bit more quietness. Why does it feel like I'm getting dropped? I thought this was a neutral start. Got to get back to the front. Got to stop. Got to stop. Put the brakes on, didn't it? Got the aero, saving that to the end. I'll see what I feel. I might sprint, I might not. So then you've got people locked in, like Thomas, who has to ride B, even though he's bloody strong. What's heavier? I can't see what I think you're saying something mechanical, 11 speed or... I think mechanical is always lighter than Di2, but depends on whether you're comparing Di2 Dura Race to mechanical Dura Race. Then you get all sorts of hybrid systems now. So you might have Shimano Di2 12 speed 105, but then you've got an Ultegra crankset or any other crankset. There's many ways to make the bike lighter. So what's heavier, 105 mechanical 11 speed or Di2 12? I think 105 mechanical would still be heavier than Ultegra Di2. Ultegra Di2 is quite light. Shimano's, well, Shimano 105's still a bit of a lump, but a lot of that's in the crankset. Which one have you got? Have you got Ultegra Di2? Hey Jesse. I'm not sure if you caught the end of the stream, Jesse, but there's quite a lot of drama. We won the race. So we're now, I forgot my 15th or whatever, 11th. Q&A. It is Jesse. So in our race, Berman got disqualified but then reinstated. The reason why I got disqualified is because he's got his account on private, and the organisers have made it so that anyone has a private account gets disqualified now. They're updating that, they said though. So it's not supposed to be now. Anyway, so Berman's reinstated as a winner. We still won. But then also I got flagged with suspicious riding because of my super tucking. Apparently the super tuck can trigger suspicious riding, which I can imagine because I sprint and then stop, sprint and then stop. So it's good that that pops up, but then of course they check it, it's just because I'm super tucking. So that's fine. Not sure if the chat's caught up with what I was talking about, but the other thing is too, shouldn't laugh, but Nick was telling us about poor old Pete. I haven't had Pete. He hasn't been in the chat. Pete, where are you? Hopefully you're not lying in a hospital bed still. Hopefully you're sleeping at home, recovering. Poor old Pete hasn't been very well. Telfer. I can see it's been a while since I've ridden a ride with a fence. Dolphin's putting his nose through it. Is he going to get zapped? Oh, he got touched it. What happens when you hit the fence nowadays? I haven't ridden so long with the fence. He's Andy. He did it 17 times. What's happening in the chat? What's happening with the GC? What's the... I don't know, there's a GC for time and there's GC points. What's happening with that? Who's winning? Who won it? I should acknowledge that. I still think it's rubbish because it's... You're racing against different people. Racing people that you aren't racing. There's a red fence I just don't show you on the stream, Gatesy. I've got special photography. Points is for the whole season. But don't they show points for the tour, or is it that was I equal with Gatesy for the whole season when Greg posted that picture? Favourite stage. This one. Okay. Who's doing a TT at the portal climb? Not me. What's the point of doing a TT after portal climb? What do I think they are? Racing. That's not racing. This is Zwift. This is sit in and do nothing. They really, I said at the beginning of this, don't know what the point is of having 3 laps. Just do 1 lap tour and then give us 2 laps to race. We're not riding past crowds, getting TV time for our sponsors. It's just me having to sit here and not entertain you for a longer period while I was trying to spill the water out of my cup that's sugary as hell. I don't want to feed the ants. It's a pretty small group as well, because John had to reset the events up and I think a lot of people can't find the event. I couldn't see it. Luckily Gunnar searched it for me and found it. But it wasn't on the app or in the game. Oh, it's supposed to be social. I ain't social with them. I ignore them. You've done 2 or 3 rides with me, Jesse. You know that I ignore you if you're in the race with me. Might be, but Gunnar found it searching somewhere. So you can still find it even if you're not in there. Yeah, that's right. I like the chasing yellow stage because I actually raced against you, Jesse. Gatesy, you missed out on a good shouting scream. It pretty much was a good shouting stream earlier. Me yelling at my teammates to calm the fuck down and also to go fucking harder. Or this is me yelling at them, me coming last in my team. But the all important points of coming last in my team got us over the line. Gayest GC. What do you mean gay? Gatesy GC? Yeah, you did beat me on that sprint, Jesse. You did beat me. I'm coming for you. My training's back on schedule. I'm going to take 3 weeks off in China. Take all the drugs. I better not say that just in case. Just in case China's listening. China, I promise you I'm not going to do that. I'll get put in jail. But I'll be away for 3 weeks from this Friday. I'm not sure what I'm going to do fitness wise, but I've done myself a good hole with this series, so it won't be the worst thing to happen. Problem is I'm going to be really busy because I'm going there for meeting Whitney's family from all sides of the family. If it was just a holiday, I'd try and find I'm sure they'd have tax neos or something in some of the spin class gyms or something like that. It's in Guangzhou. No, so it's next to the sea. Ain't no altitude training camp, that's for sure. Might be a humidity training camp. Heat acclimatization. No, I lost my 360, Jesse. I threw it into the harbour after losing against you in frustration. But it actually did fall into the harbour where I usually film because I was a knobhead risking it for a biscuit. Nah, not a skyscraper. Are we on? I'm not quite sure exactly where we're staying. We're staying in a hotel. Various different places. Hey, there's Greg. It is the last race, Greg, thank God. And I don't even know if I'll race it. I'll see how I go. See how the legs are in the last 2 laps. There's no real reason to race it, but maybe I'll start chasing rabbits. I'll sit up and wave. Like today, Greg, after I thought we'd Piglet had won. That was hilarious. Check out my stream, Gatesy. Piglet. Piglet had it all wrapped up. He'd won. We still won won the points, so we won the race. But Piglet was going to come first. I swear he came first. I swear they just lied to me. Just winding me up. It's one big conspiracy. I don't know how he lost. It was impossible. It was impossible to lose from me. I reckon the Brudos had a side bet going. They didn't tell me about. They got a bet, pulled all their money together and made some bets in India. Where's the fence? It's gone. I can see it on the map, but I was used to looking at a red wall. We're supposed to be chasing red. It seemed appropriate. Oh, someone's. What are they doing? Did they get dropped? Must have. It'd be funny if they get zapped out of the race. Press A if you want to stop. Coming back. Alright, that's one lap down. What else could I talk about? What's happening in the actual Velta? So we thought Berman got disqualified because he hadn't signed up, because Kyle got disqualified last week because he, even though he's a captain, he signed up as a captain, he didn't actually sign himself up as the rider. So we thought maybe because it was his first race, he wasn't signed up. But he got DQ'd because he has his profile set to private, and the organisers have put in a new thing for next series, or next, whatever the next stage, and he triggered that, which they didn't expect, because it was they thought it was because it was his first race, but they've reinstated it, but we still won. But basically, if you're going to do those, if you're doing ladder races, you can't have your profile set to private anymore. So they reinstated him, so we won 30 to 28. What's happening with old Andy? Leave old Andy alone. He's not too old. Don't call him too old, Jesse. Who was it in my chat the other night that said he's too old? It's probably Pete. What's the breakaway kit? Breakaway kit? Is that the chasing kit? Yeah. You got to, if you're going to be doing those races, Jesse, you can't have your everything set to private. I was like, what's the score? Someone do a calculation. And no one in the chat did it. I thought we'd lost because Piglet came second, Greg came third, and then their two riders came fourth and fifth, and then Nick and Tobias behind them, and then me. But luckily I came through with the goods with my 8th place. That is too old. I'm too old, Jesse. What am I doing? Chasing bloody Cadell sometimes on these races. Cadell could be my grandson. If I'd made some better choices in my life. Is old Andy listening to the chat? Reading the chat? Or did I miss that? I'm guessing so. He's talking like he is. I think everyone's got arrows. I haven't dared press mine in case I lose it. Don't get it through the banner. Who are we talking about now? Old Andy or... Old Andy. Says he's old. But I have to look on his ZWIFT profile. Actually, I might show it on my... I haven't got source up, have I? Lucky it's just been a boring race. Right. Where's old Andy? Oops, I'm off the front. Hard to find that old Andy. I have to wait till he pops. There he is. He's 57 years old. We found it. Only took 75 races. So he's 57 years old. 1.84 meters tall. His postal address is... You probably could, but then what happens when your ghost runs out? No, you're still on the other side of the fence, aren't you? What am I missing, Jesse? I've got too many things in the way. Get my... What's happening? What are they talking about on my jersey? Ah. I better respond, otherwise I look like a rude prick, which I am, but I don't want them to know that. Exactly, Thomas. I can't keep up with you knobheads chat and me just ignoring everything and just gliding along. I've got to do it that way, Jesse. I can't just press T, because look, it doesn't work. I've got to go change game windows, because I'm looking at OBS, not ZWIFT. So I'm going into having to use a mouse anyway. Well, it's not what they are. If you can use plenty of things as to function as that, Jesse. Don't be so dirty-minded. Sort of, Thomas. I don't know if I might be the noxious garbage. How's my music? Am I in focus? I keep thinking that because I watch camera conspiracies. So I was asking if he's in focus. You haven't been in my race though, Jesse. He's clearly talking about times like 2. What have you learnt so far for your race, Thomas? I reckon if you attack now, you'll definitely win and then get promptly disqualified. That's one thing annoying about doing group rides. It's having that bloody text right in the middle of the screen. I feel like I'm going to crash. Can't see where I'm going. Is Josh Harris in the chat? I'm going to talk shit about him. This is so much easier than when Josh Harris paced the Chasing Yellow around Paris. Jesus Christ. It's so much nicer. I think I was doing 3.5 in the draft on those neutralised laps, which for me is what I do every race. How many are we in your race, Jesse? We've got 25. I can't imagine. This might be 42, because the thing about having a slightly smaller group, there could be a smash fest. Attacks going left and right, and the worst thing is it's hard to cover. Because there's no one else to cover for you. That's what I like about the ladder races. It's bad for me, but it's much more enjoyable. I don't really, obviously I like to do well, but I like to race with tactics. Having smaller groups is much more tactical. I think that's a good thing about this series in terms of it's not, there is minuses to it, Thomas, but the problem is there's hardly any events on Zwift which all the cats start together. There used to be a lot more. But I remember when I used to ride B, it was always good riding in a mixed cat. Not all the time, but it was good to see how far you could get, push yourself. Because one of the issues of riding with B cat and C cat is that everyone rides as hard as they need to, ride as hard as they can. So you can actually, if I rode a B cat race, I never break B cat limits. So technically I just stay in B cat. Whereas these races, if you actually want to find your limits, you can. It makes it harder, but I've got to pay attention now. I think Jonathan was joking this was the start of the race, I think. I wasn't watching. We've got one more lap to go. Yeah, exactly, Thomas. Like I I don't want every race to be like that, but if you can get options, if you can get mass starts or like the ladder races, and then things in between. It's the problem with ZRL. ZRL's has become like lots of every other race on Zwift. Or other races have copied the ZRL format. And no one gives a crap. If someone tells me that their team came such and such in the ZRL, I'll pretend that I care, but I don't. There's so many divisions, so many categories. Everyone's a winner. Well, I think no, I can still see someone's, yeah, it must be 3 laps. Someone's getting a head start. Must be old Andy in the pink. So to hit the alright. Nothing stupid here. Put the pressure on the pedals so I don't get dropped. Alright, settle in. There's Telfer. Oh, I'll come back together again. Right, neutral next 2 laps. You'll be right, Thomas. Makes no difference, really. I was hoping it would be the other direction. I prefer the other direction. It's much better. This direction's just a slugfest. But nothing. Your punches don't give you as much payback. Good, it's a slow descent the other way, whereas this way you get a fast descent, but then it's just a slow climb. Coming back this way, the other way, it's much better. Be careful I don't get to gut here. Try and take it easy. They're pushing on pretty hard. Not stupidly hard, but Crit was averaging 4.3 back there, down the hill. Come on, Laporte. Don't let me get stuck here. I'm so just pressed up against Laporte's shoulder here. Lucky he's doing 4.7. Alright, watch the speed, see if it drops. Still pressing on. Looks like it's about to ease up. Someone else is digging off. 5.8 they're doing. Alright, let's respond to that. That's tougher. That's the problem, Jesse, when it's an easy lead in. Everyone's all warmed up, ready to go. So we're saving 180 watts here. So they're pushing pretty bloody hard at the front. That's why I don't go in the front. Why'd you do the first attack, Jesse? Why? I have to sit down with you in the off season and remind you about tactics. That's what domestics do, Jesse. Domestics do the grunt work, throw the first few attacks, while their protector rider sits in and waits till the attack that matters goes. Don't do the domestique. Well, it's not until the finish. Let them soften their legs up. People will throw attacks because they feel good. Wait till they stop feeling good. He's got steering. Stuff him. I'm going to work with you anyway. Got steering. Alright, might have to bridge that gap. We'll see. No, it's all good. I've got 3 steerers in this group. They could roll away if they've got the power. Maybe they've not got steering, maybe they're just wobbling everywhere. No, I definitely got steering on one of them. The other one's going across. Yeah, 3 steerers. I hope so. Old Andy. Imagine if you're locked in for life. Thomas, you're B grade forever. Another little attack. Steering guys. I'll just ignore them. What's the point? I'll just be TTing. I don't TT. It's against my religion. I have to go to counselling every time I do a TT. Probably Thomas. Alright. Second last time towards the banner. The other good thing about going the other direction is I like the auto brake into this corner. You can't win the race, but you can save yourself some power and recover. See how much time that rider makes. It's a big corner cut. Should have saved that for the last lap. It's a winning corner cut, that is. Oh, he's got steering ahead of me as well. Stuff that. Stuff that. Shadow's coming. If only you guys liked and subscribed every time. 57, Andy. You've got to change your Zwift. Or was it say? Did it say 57? Oh yeah, I said 57. Six seconds they've got on us, but I don't care. What's the point? It was National What's the Point Day. Support Pete. Pete, Pete. I don't know if you can hear me now. Pete. I think everyone's got the arrow now. And you said every race. Someone else has got steering, I'm not chasing that. I'm just waiting for you to say attack. No. And then I won't. There's got to be an ancient Andy out there. Alright, now definitely am not going to attack after this corner. Last lap. I got to beat Telfer. I haven't beat him for ages. Is he in the group? Must be. I can't see his hat, but I think it's there on the right. Yeah, there he is, at the front. Coming for you, Telfer. To be fair, he's probably racing for GC, so he'll be trying to chase this down. So I've got a good chance of beating him, all fair and square. Don't lose the draft. Nice, 370 watts. Alright. Tom A's got 6 seconds. 5 seconds now. Sneaky's chasing him. We'll catch him down in the sprint. We'll run him down the sprint, is what I should say. We'll catch him in the sprint. See, if he made that move this lap, I reckon he would have won. Surprise tactic. No one grabs your draft and you're away. Everyone says I ain't closing that. At least I say that. Yeah, much better the other direction. Much better. Alright, here we go. I think I'll sprint. Not feeling bad. Got 3 weeks off, or 4 weeks. I'll do some riding during the week, but it's not going to be. I'm going to get ready for China. It's not going to be anything serious. Just probably rolling around for an hour in zone 2. Just going to do the big corner cut here. No, why not? Should have the corner cut. I was getting ready to jump around the corner. I'll go along here. Just gotta wait for speed to drop a little bit. Ow. 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 I got too far. I didn't think I was going to hold on to Laporte's wheel. I was like, thank God he's gone past me. I've got a draft. But then, near the end, I almost got back past him. No, you said I was going to win easily. No, I even attacked when you said. I thought I jumped a little bit too late, but then when I got to the front I was like, oh, it is a long way still, isn't it? Cheers, Thomas. Thanks for your videos as well. Thanks for the comments, keeping me going, guys. It's a good thing about streaming. That was like almost an hour of rolling around. It's good to be told what a knobhead I am. Knobhead I am. I was surprised I was. It is Andrew. It is for me anyway. That was the last stage. I still got to do the stage for the next time slot. I almost pulled off a win. I didn't think I was going to, and then the last 10 metres I was like, actually, I'm not going to get swamped here, and the guy in first is dying. I was fully expecting, once I hit the wind, for about 6 riders to go flying past like usual. But I mean, there was a different field than usual, so. Certainly makes it better when you just cruise around for 3 laps. And then cruise around for another 3-ish laps. Or was it 2 laps we cruised around for? Whatever it was. Yeah, Andrew. That's all I say, it's just numbers. Do you have it set at 20? That's why I set mine to 30. It seems to get, obviously some days you get better than others, but also the efforts. You're never going to drain your watt balance doing a 50 minutes TT. But if you do a race like that, with a couple of hard efforts back to back, that's when you really drop your watt balance. That's actually one reason, because I've got ZWIFT too. I think ZWIFT's a little bit closer because the MPA runs off my signature, whereas the watt balance on source is something that I input. Whereas ZWIFT, it calculates it every day. So that's one reason why I don't put my ZWIFT MPA up. It's because there's a little bit of a mental battle. When you see you're close to your MPA, you kind of think, I can't do much more than that, or that hurts a lot more than it should. So you mentally, you almost give up. Why is ZWIFT window? Why is it? There we go. Just get rid of that white bar at the top. You can edit that watt balance in source if you go to your, I think it's profile. Around 30 for me seems to be pretty good, because I know, yeah, so you can change that, Andrew. If you go into, I think you go into the cog, and then you go into ZWIFT profile, hit your ZWIFT profile, and then you go into CP, and mine's at 30,000. I can change it. I'll change it to 1,000. I think I've got to reset source though. For that to happen. So you've got to reset source. I think, oh no, there's some weird save thing that you've got to do. I think what you've got to do is then where is it? See what maybe if I change it, I can see what the option is. I don't know. It's as far as I got. I had to figure it out from there, Andrew. Just change it to 27 if yours got minus 20. I mean minus 8, or maybe 25, because I found that I was getting minus 20 setting it at 20, but if you put it another 20, then it's 40, which is not going to. Next, I'm going to China on Friday for 3 weeks, because Whitney and I just got married here in Australia a few months ago, so then we're going to China to do the Chinese part of the wedding banquet. So it's going to be a little bit stressful because it's not going to be holiday as such. Cheers, Andrew. So we're going to visit Whitney's family all around Guangzhou, which is the city north of Hong Kong on the mainland. Well, the region, I forgot what the name of the region of Guangzhou City, Guangdong or something like that. But I speak very little, if any, Cantonese, because I spend far too much time on ZWIFT rather than learning another language. which I regret every day, but I still don't do it. I was always bad at learning languages. Even something as simple as, or relatively simple as Spanish, I was very bad at learning it. And I've got the advantage of at least understand the words. I'm not starting from complete scratch in terms of the written language and and how to read the language. But I'm sure when I get to China and I tell them how I'm a Zwifter, I'll regale them with all my stories, and I'll cover up any deficiencies in my language. I wonder who went long. Maybe that was Scamato. I can never pronounce his name. I was surprised that I beat him. He usually kicks my ass. There was a guy right behind me at the finish. That was him. I think I just timed it well. I got to the front, but just as I got to the front, another strong rider went past me and I got their draft. Definitely asking the wrong person as I do Zwifting, but depends how you're riding, Ergy. It's all about getting your head low. So it doesn't really matter where your hand positions are. It's about getting this part of your body. If you get your head low, you're going to be more aerodynamic. The difficult part's being comfortable and being able to breathe. You go to GCN, search GCN aero position, you'll find about 100 videos. That's my advice. I do lots of testing. You'll be flying in no time. Because you'd be surprised, it's all about also your shoulders. So if you can get your shoulders narrow, even just sitting upright, if you can get your shoulders narrower, you're more aero. You might look like an idiot though, but if you're trying to be aero, you don't care what people look like, or you don't care what people think, unless there are other time trialists. You'd be surprised the drop bar is actually not as aerodynamic as being on the hood if you bend your elbows. I better give ride-ons, otherwise I look like a unsocial rider. It's hard to give ride-ons though. Get myself a ride-on. Good work, Ben. That's John. What's that? Peddington. Sounds very familiar. Is that the track cyclist? The Olympic champion. I know there was a Peddington, I think, from Great Britain. He was an absolute beast. He used to literally fight enemies. So the draft, if you're sitting on someone's shoulder, you don't get a draft. Now, gotta be right here. This is what I was shouting at Tobias for earlier today. It's like, Tobias, get in the draft. Cheers, Andy. It only took me till this race to actually check your profile to see how old you were. Everyone keeps asking, you're only 57, Andy. The ab muscles affect us when cycling. It does when you're doing, like, you want to have stronger abs than not. I wouldn't, if you're cycling though, the best way to get fast at cycling is just cycling. Do ab workouts. You can do them, but just do them just because you want to do them. They're not going to make you any faster unless you've got deficiencies in your abs or you're trying to hold. Maybe as a time trials, but you look at the, exactly, Andy, you're on Zwift. Iggy, if you look at the top cyclists in the world, they got probably good core strength, but they certainly don't have six packs. That's the sort of thing you look at if you've had injuries or you've got back pain. I'm not an expert, but I don't ever do. I'm terrible at sit-ups. I might be a better cyclist if I did do, but I also know that until you get to the very pointy end of cycling, it's no point trying to find that magic bullet to get faster that isn't just cycling. Do some structured training. Do the basics. If you want to look at good videos about what makes you actually faster, look at Dylan Johnson's videos. I might type that. I can put that in the chat actually. Where's my... Dylan Johnson does good videos about what you should and shouldn't be doing to get faster. Where is his sharing link? Why can't I share his? Trying to find his link to share. I'll just link one of the videos. There you go, it's also a drop bar thing for you too. There you go. Ogie, go watch Dylan Johnson's videos after you give this a like. You got plenty of hours videos to watch. You're throwing all the ones up at me, aren't you, Iggy? Well, if you're going up a hill, the lightest bike will be faster. If you're doing a TT, carbon bikes can be more aerodynamically, like the structure of them can be more aerodynamic. I'd take a carbon bike, a good carbon bike over a good steel frame bike. Racing, but I don't race. I only race on Zwift. Let's just say if Piglet rode a steel frame and I rode a carbon frame, so Piglet's a better rider than me and my team, you'd still beat me. Don't need to spend thousands of dollars to be fast if you haven't fully trained yourself. Concentrate, put the money into a coach, a good coach. If you don't know about your training, there'll be money well spent compared to trying to buy speed. You can buy speed, but first of all, build up your personal speed. You don't want to be one of those people who rides 4 hours a week because I've got to work to pay off their $20,000 bike. Oops, sounds like I'm playing the video in the background. I don't want to get strikes on YouTube. Don't give me a strike, Dylan Johnson. Alright, I'm going down this hill. I'm bidding farewell for a month at least. I don't think I'll do any streaming this week because I've really got to make sure everything's sorted for China. Thanks for watching, everyone. Putting up with my often very negative racing just so I can make the finish. Go down this huddy. Got to use my arrow. There we go. Use my arrow going around the corner.
Fatality.
All done and dusted. What's he doing off the side of it? Get back on the road. Always kept crashing there, didn't I? Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully Pete responds the next day or two. It's all healthy. I'll see you all when I get back from China. Thanks for watching the world's most passive ZWIFT racing channel.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Hello there.